You approach things from the mindset that things are going to happen overnight and that you're going to have a stroke of miraculous luck that is going to carry you to the finish line so that you can actualize your dreams. Well then, Miss Babe, Mr. Dude, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to keep on going on because you have a mindset that is going to hinder you from actually being able to achieve whatever it is that you truly want to achieve in life. And I'm saying this because I used to be that person, okay? I used to believe that if I just manifested hard enough, if I just believed hard enough, if I just really saw myself as this person who is so deserving of a specific lifestyle, a specific life, a specific amount of wealth, that it would just magically come to me as soon as I said so. But the reality is that is not the case, okay? Because even when I've had these bursts of good luck, I was not able to sustain it. Okay. And that's the thing. You can manifest something all you want, but if you do not know how to sustain whatever it is that you've manifested, you are not going to be able to sustain it. And it is going to be something that was a flash in the pan. It was a fluke. And you don't want your life to be a succession of flukes. Okay. You want your life to be constantly on an upward trajectory where you are growing as an individual, you are growing in your skill set, you are growing in your wealth, in your wisdom, because I believe growth is what we are here to do when we live life, okay? If you're not growing or evolving, you are dying. There is this saying that it says evolve or die, and I feel like that's so true, okay? Everything in the universe is constantly evolving. And when there is no longer a need for that thing, it disappears. Why? Because there are going to be other things that have evolved past it that now are more in alignment with where the universe is at in its current moment, as opposed to that thing that has been left behind. And you have to look at yourself in that way, okay? In what ways are you evolving? In what ways are you holding on to things that you really need to let go of, okay? So growth requires patience. Be patient with yourself. And if you're not patient with yourself, if you feel like you have to be here already and all of that, it's okay. Because I think we're all led to believe that we have to be millionaires tomorrow. But if you do not have the mindset of a millionaire, then it doesn't matter how much money you have, because you're going to end up spending the majority of all the money that you have. There's such a thing as making $1 million a year, but spending $1,000,001 and you still essentially being a poor person. Why? Because you are not living below your means. You are exceeding the amount of money that you're taking in each year, and you are not saving anything for the future. That means you will literally always have to work because you do not know how to control what you spend. You do not know how to manage what you spend. I think that's a better word, because control, you don't want to have so much control over your life. You want to have a vision for your life and manage your expectations, because I believe that when you manage your expectations, it is a much healthier approach to your life. And I'm someone who has always kind of felt the need to control outcomes, control people. But in all honesty, I can't control anything. The only person I can control is myself, is my mindset. And one of the major reasons why I stopped being on TikTok is because I recognize that if you're watching all of these short videos from people who you don't know, who are giving you think pieces on stuff going on in the world and telling you what's the reality of the world, then you are going to start to ingest those opinions. And those opinions are going to change the way you think about the world. And then you're going to start to see things show up in your reality that are going to confirm the biases that have been cultivated through the things that you watch online. So you have to be very, very cautious when it comes to the people that you listen to and the people that you put yourself around, as well as the things that you do on a daily basis, the books that you read, and the habits that you have, because those are all informing how you perceive the world. And if you want your perceptions to work in your favor, then you're gonna have to get kind of cutthroat when it comes to the things that you allow to hold your attention. All right. So when it comes to growth, I have been thinking a lot about where I'm going in my life and what I do from here, right? Where I go from here. And one of the major things that I've been doing and I've been recognizing in my own life is that I'm very grateful for a retail job that I have currently. However, I'm also recognizing the fact that if I really want to get to where I truly want to go, I'm going to have to start making more income, because you can save 10% of your income, you can invest 10% of your income, but if you don't have a lot of income to do that, yes, it's great to build the discipline, and that's exactly what I'm doing, but at a certain point, the only way to truly progress in your life is to max out the amount of income that you have so that you can max out the amount that you can contribute towards your future, meaning towards your savings and investments. And that's just the reality, okay? And some of the people that I love to watch online are people like Caleb Hammer, are people like Ramit Sethi, and many of these other financial people who are basically just trying to help people get their heads above water and get their financial lives in order. And I think that has been a major thing for me. And in all honesty, I kind of understand why I'm at where I'm at right now, because I did not have the discipline for a long time. And I also didn't have the belief in self, which is what I think you need first in order to truly progress in life, so that I could really get to a point where I wouldn't self-sabotage. Like, that was my major issue. I would get to a certain point and I would make these very, very dumb financial decisions that would totally wipe me out. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. So I was working at this investment social network part-time, and I was making $1,000 a month for just writing, but I was doing a lot of effort and it felt like I was doing a lot for a little bit. And I mean, it's not really the fault of the company. I agreed to it, but I wanted it to turn into something that it clearly wasn't going to turn into. So I really lowered my worth of sorts so that I could be in the midst of that company and like maybe they would notice me and something would happen. But I think if you're looking for a specific outcome and you're willing to diminish yourself in order to get there, it's never going to end well, because at the end of it, I was kind of like, like, who are these people? Who do they think they are? Like, they took advantage of me, but it was really me who allowed myself to get taken advantage of. If you know what the story is, and you're choosing to believe something different, you can't really put it on someone else. You can only really put it on yourself. And I wanted to make myself a victim in the situation. Long story short, I ended up parlaying that into a position at a startup where I was making $8,000 a month, which was a huge jump, literally 8 times the amount I was making at that investment social network. And I was there for about 3 months before we both decided, like, this is not working. It just wasn't a culture fit and all that. So one of the stupid mistakes that I made when I was there is that I started to take on all of these responsibilities when it started as a contract position, and I wasn't entirely sure whether or not I was going to be full-time. I was telling my parents, oh yeah, like, it's definitely going to be full-time. It's definitely going to be full-time. But as I was there, I was recognizing, especially like a month and a half, 2 months in, like, I don't really know if this is the right thing for me, okay? And I had went to Mexico City at the beginning of January in that year that I was working there, and I was there for 2 weeks, and then after I was there, I went to Miami, and I decided I'm gonna move to Miami, right? And I got an apartment where it was around like $2,400 a month for a 1-bedroom. I didn't love the apartment, but it was in a cool apartment complex with a pool and all this. It was on Miami Beach. It was in a place that was warm where I thought I wanted to be, but I was very isolated, okay? I mostly stayed to myself. I didn't really talk to people. And when I did talk to people, it was almost like I was a deer in headlights, and I was so distrusting of people, okay? And I'm saying all this to say that the major lesson that I learned from this entire experience was that I moved way before I was ready to move, okay? I should have stayed at home and really just stacked my money, saw whether or not I was actually going to stay at this company long term. And because I didn't do that, that $8K a month that I had made for 3 months, which is $24,000, I essentially wiped out all of that because I was trying to be somewhere that I truly was not ready to go yet. All right. And this is why it's very important that you are not trying to escape yourself, escape your growth. Because one thing that my mom always says is that no matter where you go, you're always taking yourself. So if you haven't dealt with the issues that you have internally, your external environment is always going to reflect that back to you. You can act like it's not. You can trick yourself into believing that everything's all right. But if you're not truly growing and evolving as a human being, it's going to be very difficult for you to actually progress in life, because life is always going to bring you back to where you truly are internally, that thermostat that you have that you don't want to admit that you have, okay? So I say all that to say, growth requires patience. Are you going to do what you need to do in order to get there? I hope the answer is yes. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one, because guess what? You deserve to be where you want to be, but do you believe that you deserve where you want to be?